Here's your video lesson for the week. What we're going to talk about is something called transposition. What transposition is that when we take a melody or the chords of a song and move them higher or lower, either to fit the range of your instrument better or to work with someone like a singer who has maybe a limited range. So maybe some songs are too high and we have to bring it down for them, or some songs are too low and we have to bring them higher. So how does this work? Well, first of all, we're going to talk about melodies. So if I were to play just a simple melody by going from the 3rd fret to the 5th fret, and then going to do the same thing on the next string, on the 2nd string. So let's say that's your melody. Da, da, ba, ba. So let's say for some people that maybe is a little bit too high. So what we would have to do is move it lower. So what I can do on the guitar, it's a little bit more simple, because what we can do is take the same shape that we just did, and I can just move that down, let's say, one whole step. But sometimes it's not so easy. Sometimes we have to move it down even further than that, and that's why knowing the notes on our fretboard and knowing our notes on the guitar is going to be extremely important. So in that little excerpt there, I played G, A, D, E. So let's say I wanted to move that down a minor 3rd. So what that means is that I'm going to take my music alphabet here, and hopefully it's not backwards, and I played, my first note was G. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to move that 3 half steps back. So I'm going to go 1 half step, 2 half step, 3 half steps. And then that note is going to be an E. So I can play that open on the guitar. We're kind of lucky to have to do that. But let's say I don't want to play it open and I want to play it on the next string. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to play the E right there. And if we remember kind of the shape, what we did is we went up a half step or a whole step from G to A. So now if I wanted to move that down a minor 3rd, I would go E to F sharp. And we would know that because if we were on the A, which is the 2nd note we played, and move that down 3 half steps, 1, 2, 3, we have F sharp, G flat. Same, hopefully you can see that in the video there. And that's the same note that we have here. Now we talk about the next 2 notes. We played D, and then we played E. So if we do the same thing, we take D, we're going to go down 3 steps, or 3 half steps, 1, 2, 3. It takes us to B. So B, what we're going to do is we're going to play that on even the next string here, the 4th fret on the 3rd string. And the same thing, we're going to go from E down 3 half steps. So E, 1, 2, 3 takes us to C sharp or D flat, which we can play right here. So all of a sudden this, down 3 half steps, sounds like this. And that's why it's really important to know the notes on our fretboard, so we can use this musical alphabet to really help us with that. But chords, especially as guitar players, are chordal instruments, instruments that play chords. It's good to be able to take these chords and move them into different keys as well. So if I were to take a chord progression, let's say G, C, D, G. So using some open chords is what I did there. But let's say that was a little bit too, the last one we moved down, why don't we move this one up? Let's say that it was a little bit too low for a singer, so what we have to do, but they wanted to move it up 1 whole step. What I can do is think about some of the chords that I'm playing, especially with our musical alphabet here, knowing this really well is very helpful. I played a G as my first chord, and they wanted it up a whole step. So I'm going to go 1, 2, so 2 half steps is equals to 1 whole step. G up 1, 2 takes us to A. A is our first chord. So we can play A even just as an open chord, which is great. But what about our other chords? Well, let's go from C. Want to go up a whole step, 1 half step, 1 whole step, takes us to D. So D is our 2nd chord now. So we went from A to D. And then now what we had was D, and we wanted to move that up a whole step, which would take us to 1, 2, to E. So now our new chord progression, going from G, C, D, G, we move that up 1 whole step, it becomes A, D, E, A. So what that can do is help us with playing with people like singers, or let's say you wanted to play a song that you liked on the radio, but maybe you wanted to spice it up and use more open chords or something. What we can do is transpose the song, the melody and the chords of the song into a new key, and voila, we have a whole new reimagination of the song. I hope this video lesson was helpful. We'll see you soon.